people, they reacted like they'd never heard a surf song before. But nobody was doing 3-4 chord harmonies like we were.
Kevin had bought a hearse. I believe it was a yellow hearse.
Yeah.
And we would load into that as Pacific and go down Van Nuys Boulevard, which would draw a lot of attention to the vehicle as well as Pacific.
It had a name on the side. It was called the Morgue, the Merrier.
The morgue.
Valley people, for the most part, were not surfers. There was a whole beach culture that has always existed. Santa Monica Beach, Venice, Hermosa, all that. Those were the cool studs of our generation, were surfers.
We were told we had to do an early morning high school assembly.
Yeah.
We were all saying, how are we going to perform and get people excited at like 8 in the morning? And that assembly ended up going so crazy that there was a streaker that went behind us, and I said, something's clicking with this music, even at 8 in the morning, where people are just going crazy with it. It was nuts. We were looking at it more surprised probably than anybody else.
It was a junior mania, basically.
Yeah.
It was a mania.
They were at one point the most popular band in the Valley. Without a doubt.
First gig at Canoga, I got a cramp and I shot my leg out across the whole stage. But it ended up being something that pulled all these people.
The only male I know that has more cramps than
These guys actually all grew up kind of together, high school and all that kind of stuff. I just want to say thank you for letting me into the friendship, because these guys have been really good friends for a really long time.
And we feel the same way about Pete.
Except when they think I'm joining another band, then they want to kick my ass.
Long ago I turned away, dreamed the best of all, never understanding why we simply had to fall. And now I long to tell her what's really on my mind, but it seems as though I never get the time. Wasting days and spending nights kept nagging at
Here's where we are. We're going to... This is going to be an adventure right here.
Was in control. Now I long to tell her what's really on my mind, but it seems as though I never get the time. The story stays the same down through all the years.
Oh, is that right?
Along with every love, there always comes some fears.
How bad could it be, right?
Now I Abbey Road, baby. To tell her what's really on my mind, but it seems as though I never get the time. The story stays the same down through all the years. Along with every love, there always comes some fears. Now you come to hold me here because I made the grade. Love is love, that timeless spirit lingers to the grave. Now I long to tell her what's really on my mind, but it seems as though I never get the time. Seems as though I never get the time.
Here we are, Studio 2. This is the place. This is where the magic happens. Realizing there's the Abbey Road sign and the gate's open, and I'm gonna walk in, and Otherwise, I wouldn't, but it's open and I'm supposed to be here. It just flashed on me. I'm supposed to be there. And I went up the stairs and there I go through the doors. It was crazy cool. The coolest thing I think I've ever done in my life. And I can't describe it anymore. Just don't stop filming. I know what it's like now to give birth to a dream. This is the only kind of guitar that all three Beatles had. In fact, the Day Tripper guitar, it's used for that to this day with Paul McCartney. I figured these guys had to have a casino in the room. It's iconic guitar. It's a vintage guitar. It's a very special piece of wood. So same with the casino, a 63, a 62 here. The Beatles each had 61s they bought in 65. And Pete, Wagenhurst, plays a Strat, and we couldn't get it on the plane, so I had to get him a Strat and wanted to get him a really good one. It's, an old one. This is a 61 precision bass here, the Fender bass, and it's a really good year. It's a 61, meaning it's
Pre-CBS.
old wood, pre-CBS, Leo Fender, a torque guard. This stuff's actually outlawed.
That's
now.
new, right? Is that an original one?
That's an original one, yeah. Out through these doors we have the echo chamber. You been in here, right? Light comes on automatically. We're set up to record something here. And it's just a Martin D28 with a Neumann. It's just quite nice, isn't it? These floors there's 10-foot deep tunnels, and the air is circulating up in through these walls. They have 20-foot tunnels over there. That's why we have they call it special air, because it circulates up into these baffles, which are moved around. So that's kind of cool to know that we're walking on a, what do you want to call it, a cave of tunnels.
We made it. Now we gotta perform.
Here comes the sun. Here comes the sun. I say it's alright. Little darling, the sun running into their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun. Sun, I say it's alright.
Kevin, you ready to do some playing? Let's hear it. I'm just looking for it to be just really tight, no fluff.
I'm gonna strum it the same way I do the big slash, and then the
The next take in bar 13 just on the bass. That one's kind of fun. What take was that? Cool. Let's hear another. Give me one more, but I like the way you're saying it.
Okay.
After we're happy with that, we're going to triple it. Double it and triple it. Wax and I had produced Rosemary Butler's record, You Just Watch Me, and we got to know each other very well during that process. And he said to me one day, so why don't we record at Abbey Road? I was ready for the question, and I had already thought about it with his band Pacific. It was an amazing, amazing time. Abbey Road is truly the mecca of recording studios.
I was in the bathroom by myself, and it's this bizarre steel interior, double mirrored place, and I took this great picture in the corner, and I realized, wow, I'm taking secret pictures in the bathroom at Abbey Road.
We first walked in and walked down the stairs. That was a pinch me moment to see, oh my God, I've seen this many times. I've seen the Beatles, I've seen everybody in here. So that was a pinch me moment when we first walked in and started walking down the stairs.
Walked in the place and it was like I was thinking, you know, John Lennon, Paul McCartney sang in this exact place. The Beatles were here. But I remember when I saw a thing later where Paul did like a little show, and he said, we never went up those stairs, that was for the grown-ups, you know?
You kind of go back into the control room the first time, and you actually hear what you played coming out of there with a little bit of a mix on it, and the song's starting to come together. That's kind of when you really feel like you're not just a visitor there.
It is the finest recording studio in the world. They have the best microphone collection in the world, and just the pedigree, the lineage, the history in those rooms. You walk in and you feel it.
I had the headphones on, and I'm in this little booth, and I saw you in your other booth, and I saw Kevin's drums and Ludwig, you know, thinking, wow, this is really something, you know. This is a trip of a lifetime, for one thing.
It sounds amazing in there, like beyond what I could have imagined. I knew it was good, but it was amazing.
We took a lot of pictures, and you can see just everybody's got these gigantic smiles on their faces, and I think that was the key, to just see everybody. I don't know if I've ever seen everybody that happy.
I mean, I really, as much as possible with Pacific, from the get-go, wanted to take a very organic approach, and you know, try and make it authentic as it could be. But a lot of John's songs were written 20, 30, maybe more years ago. So I wanted to bring it into the current day, not only in terms of sonically, but also in terms of the production. Me coming in with, you know, years and years of studio expertise, I have a strong opinion of what can be done with this song. I've got a fresh set of ears because I haven't been living with these things for 20, 30 years. We captured something that was pretty great, and I'm very proud of it, very happy with how it's coming out.
We've got a core group of friends that have really stayed the same for even beyond the 40 years. And it's a pretty amazing thing when you think about it. And we're all in some ways very different, and in some ways we're the same, of course. It's kind of like a marriage in that, you know, we fight and we disagree, and all kinds of other things that you do in a marriage, or, you know, with brothers.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun because you just know everybody really well, and you know, you kind of know, like, certainly playing wise, you knew what to expect from everybody.
I think we're better now because we've learned all the mistakes. We've kind of learned from our mistakes, learned from what we used to do, and said, oh, that was good enough. But it's like, you know, we've kind of, you know, refined the stone, if you will, polished the stone as we went ahead.
For a whole generation of kids, when we started doing this surf stuff, it was almost like the Beach Boys all over again. People hadn't even heard surf tunes.
We were getting screaming. We were like, they'd chase us.
Right? It was insane, and I say that not because we were so, you know, amazing, other than these people had never, you know, been part of this surf craze.
Could we do things differently a little bit when we were younger? Sure. I mean, everybody's vocal range was maybe a little bit higher, a little bit, you know, bigger range. But no, I don't think it's better then. I actually think it is better now.
The first rock star in my mind that I really saw was John. And you know, it sounds funny to say because he wasn't, you know, at the Forum or whatever. It was at some dance or something. You know, my cousin brought me to something I had never had experienced, being in a band or even seeing a band. And again, we had this discussion about when were you smitten. And I have to say that my moment was when I saw John. When I went, that's what I want to do. But that's a unique thing, and that's really what I'm taking away from this, is that the ability to do this with our core group of friends. And that's the whole thing. I know there's a lot of bands, they play together and they make music together and they get along and all that. But we have 6 guys who truly like each other, and almost to the point where you say that we really love each other.
When we go out, and we played a couple gigs recently when we played at the Canyon Club last year, and we went out there, we started out with Ladies Fine, and we hit that first note, and everybody just went nuts. I got chills up the back of my spine. It was like, oh my God, did you hear everybody? Everybody was into it. We'd see the audience and we'd look at each other, and everybody on stage had a big smile on their face too. So I think we draw off of that, and that knocks 20 years off of us. I think it knocks 30 years off of each one of us. When we're up there, we don't feel like we're 60 years old. We're 25 again.
If you are an entertainer, and especially being a musician, and you know what that feels like when it's locking and it's working and it feels the way you imagine it should feel in your head and your heart, and there's really, it's kind of orgasmic. It's a non-sexual orgasm.
And to be honest, it happened quite a bit when we were in Pacific for the first 10 years.
Yeah, it's for the buzz. It's for that buzz that you get, and there's nothing like it. There's nothing like it. It's good stuff.
Here we go.
Get back homeward. Once there was a way to get back home. Sweet little darling, do not cry. And I will sing a lullaby. Once there was a way, boy, to get back homeward. Once there was a way to get back home. Sleep, pretty darling, do not cry. And I will sing a lullaby. Boy, you're gonna carry that weight, carry that weight a long time. Boy, you're gonna carry that weight, carry that weight a long time. I never give you my pillow, I only send you my invitation. And in the middle of the celebrations, I break